Last time on the Dragon Ball Super Cho-Cast.
Laying on the table right now, Cartier. Vegeta's dance number does not make it to the series, to the TV series.
You don't think he's gonna sing bingo?
That dance number, I would go as far as to say there is no Vegeta dance number in the entire series of Super.
Episode 1, The Farmer and Videl. That's right, you heard the narrator. Welcome to episode 1 of the Dragon Ball Super Cho-Cast. My name is Nicholas Cartier, and I'm joined here today with
Dan Allen.
my lovely co-host.
It's me. Ninja Turtle Cup.
Ninja Turtle Cup.
Yeah.
So, we just watched episode 1 of Dragon Ball Super in English, and then we watched it again in Japanese.
Just in case.
And that episode was titled The Peace Reward. Who will get the 100 million Zenny?
Who got it?
Who got it indeed?
That's immediately... You know what we didn't say in the 0 episode, Cartier? There's obvious... Maybe it's because it's too obvious. Obvious spoilers in these episodes. Because we're just going to be breaking down exactly what happened in these episodes.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert. So, let's start at the beginning of the episode.
Oh, it's a... Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
So, the episode starts off with Son Goku riding on a Capsule Corp tractor.
Yes.
How do you like seeing our boy Goku just work?
It feels good. Everything about the beginning of this feels good. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's mostly, I can say, not that it's not great. It's mostly a nostalgia thing. It's like as soon as they hit the previously on Dragon Ball Z, and you're seeing all these different characters standing in the groups that you often see when Toriyama's rounded up all his characters to like watch the final battle on a TV screen or whatever has happened in 3 different locations. But when it's like Ox King and like Poir and like, yeah, I was excited to be back in it, Cartier. It felt immediately good to be like continuing this storyline, because I think that's one of the reasons I love GT. I'm just like, more like going forward. Yeah, him on the tractor though. I like Goku as a farmer. I like the idea of it. I wish
He's a radish farmer.
I hope they do more with that, because where we left off in this episode, it doesn't look like we are going to see too much farming happening.
I will say you will be surprised at the amount of farming that does show up.
Whoa,
in Super.
whoa.
Not that it happens a lot, but
Potentially surprised by the dance number if it comes up too. Right, Cartier? Because it's totally...
we'll find out.
We'll find out!
So
Goten on the tractor.
I was just going to talk about that. So when we were watching it, Dan had the controller because we're watching on the DVD because we support the official release.
We did support that official release for the show.
And Dan pauses it and looks at me and he's like,
Mm-hmm. It's like, can't he fly like Goten? Like, I remember, not only do I remember watching it, but I remember reading back when Borders Books and Music existed, Cartier.
I remember
buying those big chunks of like the mango, the manga, and
the Viz manga.
And it was I remember specifically reading the scene where Gohan is a teenager teaching Videl how to fly, and Goten's like, sweet, and it's that moment kind of when like they go Super Saiyan in front of Vegeta, and they're like, what? He's like, yeah, we could do. Goten's just like, I guess I can fly. That's so magical. I'm like, that's a moment, right? That really happened. I didn't make that up. So I had to pause it and be like, can't Goten fly?
Mm-hmm.
Because I just tried to watch Sonic Boom, and Tails, who also is a fictional character that can fly, is in his airplane, which he should be able to fly very adequately as well. And he crashes that plane. He just gets saved. I'm like, not at any point where you're like, bail, I can fly for real. That's exactly how it was. Goten can fly, he's just cruising off this cliff. And that's one of the first difference between the Japanese and the English one I'll point out is, it's like, You need to be better at driving, whatever. I think in the Japanese one, it's just like you don't drive good. Like that's literally the translation.
Well,
it's just like one of the few slight differences.
So yeah, you're gonna see that a little bit because the way that Shanshou does his Goku, he kind of does a dimwit a little bit, you know, which they are like Goku's whole family. Besides for Gohan, they're all pretty dimwit. Like Chi comes off as like prim and proper, but at the same time, like when you're gonna be watching the Japanese part of it, you're gonna realize that they're kind of like Hicks.
Okay, for sure.
They're like Japanese like Hicks. They live in the sticks. You
Living
know,
in the sticks. Also, I just want to take this moment to point out that Goten is also smart.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And he will receive the adequate schooling, potentially, to be the smartest. I'm just saying. I don't know. Gohan very smart too, though, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I took insult to that. Because one thing, Cartier, and we could talk about this, is I remember when we watched Battle of the Gods, not being huge on how Goten was being represented. I know like Goten was one of your favorites from the end of Z.
Mm-hmm. No, I thought they had big plans for Goten.
Yeah. He seems... what was the time jump, you think?
From the end of Z?
Well, no, I guess they're taking part. It's like right after Boo's death to where we are now.
I think I want to say it's things I should know for the show.
On the spot. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I want to say it's got to be at least 3. It's got to be at least 3 months, but I want to say like maybe 5 months. It's a couple months after Boo, and I'm pretty sure at this point they've already used the wish on the Dragon Balls to erase Boo from the memory of everyone on Earth. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's past that part because Dragon Ball Super takes place between the 10-year time gap between the end of them killing Boo and the tournament that ends off with where he flies over the tube.
Right. This is all before that tournament. So,
yeah.
Right. And Hercule, I'm guessing Hercule received that money at the end of Z.
I think it's this episode when he actually.
He received it in the episode.
I think that's what the press meeting was about.
Okay, that's what I was unsure about.
They announced he was going to. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was unsure about that, but yeah, man.
How'd you feel about the portrayal of Boo? Come on, I know he's your favorite character.
Boo is real good. He's pure good, I would say. I don't like the Japanese voice acting of Boo. I bet that maybe Japanese people hate the American portrayal of the English portrayal of Boo. Wow, so good. He's just hungry. They're friends. It was in the Japanese one. It seemed a little gayer, which is fine. I feel like it's worth pointing out. I feel like Boo is going to get his day in Super. I mean, I hope. Of all the things I'm guessing, I really hope that's not wrong. Boo needs his time to shine. I feel like it's now. The Boo arc is my favorite arc, which is why when this episode started and they showed stuff from that arc, the end, even though it's like the Kid Boo period of it, I was so happy to be back in it because a lot of people are like King Piccolo, my favorite in any of the series. Cell, Frieza. I feel like you hear Cell and Frieza. I'm just like, Boo want ice cream? Boo need money to get that ice cream. Turn people into chocolate. And on the heels of the Android, no, that's Cell. But the Android saga is probably second to me. Like, it's very short and enjoyable. And I liked a lot of the things that Toriyama tried to do in the Android saga.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of, negativity with, the Majin Buu saga. Because, at that point, when, Dragon Ball was being produced, that was when they gave Akira Toriyama, the reins, and they're like, yeah, we're, just keep going. You can do whatever. You're literally printing us money.
Yeah.
You've got young boys in Japan hooked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's so different about Frieza and Cell, and this is where Boo is similar to the androids, is that History of Trunks happens and the androids have killed every major player at that point in that timeline. And then they're just, still slowly killing things. In my head, that's how Boo does it. If Boo stays plump, doesn't release his anger, and it's just
if he's a good boy.
If he's a good boy. If Boo's a good boy, he slowly destroys the Earth by, turning people into chocolate. one by one, destroys the city every now and then. I guess how long do you do that before the evil in him comes out? You could say he was pushed to a limit that he might not have been pushed to otherwise. Either way.
Well, because when he turned into, like, when the whole evil boo and everything happened, it was because he got angry because B get shot, so. Yeah. B! Lack of B in this episode.
There was Did you see the little bit of B, though? It was like a picture. Or was it flashback? I don't recall right now.
Ooh, it might have been the flashback.
Very little bits of B. Yeah, B not in the house. You know I want to see old B.
You'll see old B.
You'll see old B.
You'll see old B.
She's a GDB. She's a no good B.
So, alright. So there's a couple little scenes in there with Gohan and Videl. Because there's like two different plots going on in this first episode. There's the plot of Goku farming, but wanting to train because he's a slacker.
Yeah.
And the second one is Gohan and Videl have gotten married. They're already married.
Nice.
And first of all, before I want to jump into what the next plot is, Piccolo does show up for like a second.
Oh, such a good Piccolo cameo.
He's just like spying on Gohan.
He's on top of a building to deliver the line, "Huh." And it's a good huh. Like, it's quality.
And that quality leads us into what the plot is. Pretty much the plot is Goten wants to get his sister-in-law a present. And so it's just like pretty much Goten and Trunks hijinks, flying through the city.
Enjoyable.
You know, they want to get... They're looking at diamonds. The diamonds?
The diamonds.
The diamonds.
Right.
There's just like a couple. And this old man, he's just like, yeah, you can have whatever you want, baby.
Baby.
And she's just like, ooh, I want to see that one. And then just from behind, two floating anime pop star children.
For the record, I don't want to correct you, Cartier, but it's just so memorable in my head. She's like, no, it's too expensive. He's like, baby, I want to do it. I was like, oh, man. Oh, man. And then, but yeah, they come floating up. They learn about the hot spring. In the jewelry store? No, they're just...
No, it's the other old guy. It's the old guy where they have to go that way for a really long time. They have to make a sharp right as I point to my left. And then they got to do the little thing.
He's like, whitens your teeth. This is nothing compared to the hot spring in the town I grew up in. They're like, what? You said hot spring? Which way? He's like, hot spring? He's like, you were just saying? He's like, pretty good eavesdropping. I'm like, this is all right. We don't have to go over it again. That's fine. I don't want to blow past this. This is all for Videl. And I want to talk about arm candy. There's not a lot of differences in these episodes, English and Japanese, to really point out. But one of them is, like, the English version is... Videl, I feel bad. You buy me all these things. You bought me this book. It's so great, but I feel bad because I can't buy you things. It's like, listen, it's fine. You get an education, and I get a scholar as arm candy. And then she grabs his arm and they walk down the street. He's like... Boo-ba-doo, says something else with the word arm candy. Pretty handsome arm candy, who knows? Yeah. More than once. I think I remember hearing it 3 times.
I think she hits it 3 times.
In the Japanese version, it's like, baby, I feel so bad. You know, you buy me these things, you buy this book. It's like, listen. It's like, I want to help you. Grabs his arm and they walk down the street. It's just like really way more like... I don't remember the exact wording for that one, I'm sorry, but it's just... I'm happy to help. They continue the story. Yeah. It's just weird to even put that in there. Arm candy. It's like they want you to think that Toriyama is portraying women worse than he is. But no, it's pretty weird. So, Trunks and Goten. They're going down the mountain. They go to the hot spring.
They're looking at old people taking baths. Water's not good enough.
They took a hard left, Cartier.
They went up that mountain, and they found some very, very clear water.
Mm-hmm. They only said mountain in English, too, by the way. Higher up the mountain. Stupid thing to recognize, but it's just like, let's go higher up, and let's go higher up the mountain. This is the only difference. There's only, like, a few differences.
Yeah.
But But they go higher up the mountain, Cartier, and they find some real clear water. It's very clear, the water.
So there's a snake. There's this giant snake. And I want to say the snake has showed up in Dragon Ball before, but...
Or it's just him drawing snakes.
No, like this specific snake.
Like they fought like the dinosaur?
I want to say it's, it might be Broly 2.
Oh.
Or I want to say it's in a movie. I don't know.
Tried to rewatch those movies.
Crucify me in the comments below. But no, the snake. I don't know. He's picking on these kids, and these kids are tiny little war machines.
When I watched it a second time, I was excited for it to pop out. I'm like, this is like my favorite bit of animation in this.
It looks good.
It's my favorite moment of that episode. Yeah, I think that's my favorite moment of that episode. Insert graphic.
My favorite moment of the episode is when they pan out from the guy poking the cheek, and he's talking about how her cheek is so soft.
Yeah.
That is mine.
So soft.
Yeah. But so they fight the snake. Goten goes to do his little Kamehameha, and Trunks tells him not to because they don't want to wipe out the hot springs that are down the mountain.
He's like, think of the people.
Yeah.
Which is good because it's Toriyama reminding you of the power scaling before anything has exploded in this. They're like, just so you know, reminder, yes, these children are still as powerful to just like destroy this entire mountain. It's common. I've already have plans in my head to animate this. Mountains will be destroyed. Buckets will be splashed. But yeah, I enjoyed that little line of dialogue was just like, yeah, just so you remember, these kids are real powerful.
So how'd you like the whole tossing the bottle back and forth and back and forth?
Mm-hmm. I thought I wouldn't want to watch it a second time. I think that's like, seriously, that whole part's the best sequence. Yeah, so good.
So
enjoyable. Classic, some Batman Forever vibes. Remember the beginning of Batman Forever? George Clooney? Is that Clooney Forever?
I believe so, yeah.
Yep, they play a little hockey with something important. Cartier, what did you think of the entire Goten and Trunks section?
I think it's a breath of fresh air to see other characters doing something in the anime, in like a media that's like has been Goku centric for a really, really long time. It's nice to see other people do things. And I'm just gonna leave it at that for now.
Yeah, okay, for sure.
But
it was the meat of this episode, I would say.
It was. Well, there was we'll get to something in a second, but there's this running gag in there where in the English version, Goten's calling the water toilet water.
It's true.
And I don't know if because in the Japanese version, I don't remember what it's called, but whatever name they call the water has like toilet. I don't know. It looks almost French to me.
Yeah, I think both are the same weird French.
I want to say it was the same joke, but back and forth. So it's nice seeing the translation between the gags from the two.
It's true.
Because Dragon Ball can be a hard sense of humor sometimes.
And sometimes it's Japanese humor translating it. But yeah, it was pretty true to form. I don't remember anything that was comedic changing except for Roshi saying, man, what was the Japanese one for the kind of DVD? Roshi's only moment in this whole episode.
It was, something girl. Spunky Girl.
Oh, it was Spunky Girl DVDs.
Girl DVDs.
Yeah.
So, remember when I said that there were 2 plot lines going on? Boom. Bonus round. We get our first scene of Beerus and Whis.
Yeah, enjoyable. I liked the Japanese voice actor's voice for it too.
I love the Japanese
think it's
voice.
pretty perfect. I was like, is this the same guy doing it? I'm like, are they carrying over the same sounds? I'm like, I don't know. It's probably a different guy. He's just killing it. You know, I secretly wanted that first subtitle to come up and for it to say Bills, but it didn't.
It did say Beers.
It said Beers.
It did say Beers.
So I guess I'm calling it Beers. I'm just trying to keep it canon.
Yeah. I'm just gonna...
Bills. It's not Bills. I understand.
Yeah.
It's a hard note to drive home in my head.
See, like, we come from a time when, like, it wasn't translated correctly.
Yeah.
So it was Bills for a little bit.
I watched Battle of Gods twice like that.
Beers technically isn't wrong. They use it as the subtitle, but I do technically think it is Beerus.
Mm-hmm.
But the way they say it in Japanese, like, it does sound like Beerus, just from the way that, like,
yep,
their fucking speech works.
It's a good portion. I like those characters. I like Whis. I like Beerus. I enjoyed this section. I like that it is just like a random planet, and still it feels like it's establishing who they are while also like giving you that like nod that you totally already know who these people are. I feel like Toriyama's just used to doing that because he still wrote those movies, right? He's written every non-canon movie. Is this correct?
No.
Oh dang, who's writing those movies?
Fuck. I want to say it's Daisuke Nishio, but I feel like I might be saying it wrong.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But still, he's used to like.
He usually has a hand. He like approves things. Like,
right.
All right. So for like movie villains, like there are different people who like create movie villains. I know one of the movie villains that Toriyama didn't touch was Janemba. I think he was the only movie villain that they.
Wow, I love Janemba though.
Janemba is
oh man, that's surprising. Surprising if Toriyama didn't have a hand in Janemba.
So, I guess I might have I have one more question for you before we close this out.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have something else to say.
Before you get to the final thing, I must say that honorable mention for best little bit of animation was during the Beerus scene, when he sloshes that weird like concoction onto his cat mouth. It's very weird.
All right, so
it's uncomfortable. I'm
gonna spoil something for you, and it's not really. It's like literally not a spoiler at all. But we're gonna get to it. But like,
okay,
Dragon Ball Super, the way they make the food look, fucking insane.
Really?
Like,
because they have to come up with all these weird foods.
There will be a scene where it's just like, I want to say it's pepperoni pizza.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking cheese. We'll get to it.
Oh my god.
We'll get to it, but.
I hope it's positive.
No, they make the food like
okay.
Out of all the things they animate the food really, really good. Oof. And like that sloshing though when he's like that greasy martini.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyway, I just want to say I like Beerus and Whis. So moving forward, I'm excited for any of that. I think it was well done. It was a good little like here's a guy you already know, again destroying planets. Also, Cartier, I looked at you for one other thing. And it was when they said the words, when they get all the money, and Gohan is like, oh no, I think Gohan says it's like, oh now Goten doesn't have to worry about bills. Bills.
So, I do have one question. Have one question. Out of 10 mittens, how many mittens would you give Dragon Ball Super Episode 1 collectively?
Okay. So it's definitely buffed for nostalgia. You got a buff luck. Hashtag buff luck.
Hashtag buff luck down below.
You get buffed a little bit for nostalgia. And I think, I'll be honest with you, one of the reasons I brought up how smart Goten was, if Goku had said no to that money, it would be a lower score. But Goten is a smart boy. And he's like, but Dad, we should get that money and you'll be able to train. So that bumped it up way high. And then, immediately after that, Goku's like, here's money, Chi-Chi. She's like, money? He's like, can I go train? And I was like, ooh, you asked too soon, Goku. You asked too soon. She's like, yeah, just stop in once in a while. And I'm like, I think I have a problem with that. But Dan, don't you not want to just sift through the filler of them, like, farming? I do want them to farm for a few more episodes before he takes off. I hope that happens, Cartier. With that being said, 8.3.
8.3. I do love the slice of life episodes that they have in Super. There's a couple of them. There's an episode you're gonna fucking love.
Oh yeah. Does he meet a robot in a cave?
There are 2 episodes you're going. No, it's not a robot in the cave. It's not the Gohan episode.
Are we in the same place?
No.
No, but
baseball. there's a baseball episode. Much like the Steven Universe baseball episode.
Baseball all the time. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's better than there being a wrestling episode.
Yeah.
Usually bad. Unless Tiger Millionaire.
I think
The 8.2, if I said 8.2 right, or 8.3. Let's go 8.2 is realistically a 7.2. Buffed hard for nostalgia. Happy to be back in it.
Luck down below.
Hashtag it.
Hashtag buff luck down
Don't do
below.
No one's gonna look.
So,
But yes, Cartier, now I have to ask you the same question. I think is necessary to someone who's seen the whole series with maybe more keen eye, maybe a little less biased. Will you give this episode out of 10 mittens?
I would give it a solid... I'd give it a solid, like, 6 mittens and 1 glitten.
Okay.
That's a glove mitten.
Okay.
Where you take things off.
Partial.
Yeah. Partial glove.
Partial-ooski.
Partial.
Is that like a 6.5, you think?
Yeah, it's like a 6.5.
6.5.
6.5 mittens. Hopefully Goku makes smart choices inside of Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah. I'm hoping for this, Cartier, before we close it off officially. I'm hoping that in this series, not only does Vegeta never dance, not that it would be a big deal, I'm just predicting, I hope that Goku is a really quality father to Goten. And I hope Goten doesn't go to school, he's forced to train. When I say forced, I mean he wants to, but forced. Next time!
It's like in The Office.
Dan said that thing. Next time.
Anyways, closing out. My name's Nicholas Cartier.
I'm Dan Allen.
And this is the Dragon Ball Super Cho-Cast. If you like what we if you like this, share it.
Yeah.
Like it. Subscribe.
Just watch the next one. I don't even care.
Check out our gaming podcast if you like our dynamic, because there are 2 more people in Litmit Media.
Ooh, yeah. Who are they?
They are Trey Grunstedt
Trey, I like Trey.
and Kyle Melville.
He's a good guy.
Also known as Kyle Smellville.
Mm-hmm. You probably just watched me play I Am Bread with him, and if you haven't, go check that out. It's also part of the 2018 Lit Mitten pilot series, which is what this, along with the 0 episode of the Dragon Ball Super Cho-Cast, is officially being made for. The Cho-Cast is the only thing guaranteed to probably move forward. Like, everything else we're going to make if people like it. But we just love Super. Or we just love Dragon Ball. I hope I love Super, Cartier.
I think you're going to like it.
I think I'm going to like it, too. I'm an easy audience for this. But yeah, please check out the rest of the 2018 pilot series if you got some free time. And if you like the way Cartier sounds. Because we got other things where he's talking.
Damn straight.